I am the Sagrada Familia, and I have been under construction for 144 years. Kings have died, wars have been fought, an entire century has passed, and every single morning, workers have shown up to build me. But here's what nobody talks about. The man who designed me never saw a single tower completed. He was hit by a tram on a Tuesday in 1926, and he died 3 days later. Nobody recognized him at first. He looked like a beggar. That man was Antoni Gaudi, and without him, I should have died too. Let me tell you why I didn't. When Gaudi took over my construction in 1883, I was supposed to be simple, a modest neo-Gothic church, nothing unusual. Then he looked at me and saw something else entirely. He threw away the original plans. He said nature had already solved every architectural problem humans would ever face. No straight lines, no flat surfaces. Everything curves, branches, spirals, like bones, like trees, like shells. He didn't draw blueprints the way other architects did. He built plaster models, hundreds of them, hanging weights on strings to calculate the perfect curve of my arches. He spent 43 years on me. Towards the end, he stopped taking commissions. He moved into my crypt. He lived inside me. I was his entire world, and then a tram took him away. For a few years after Gaudi died, construction continued. His models were still here. His notes were still here. His vision was still alive. And then came 1936, the Spanish Civil War. Anarchists broke into my crypt. They burned everything, every plaster model, every calculation, every drawing. Gone. Construction stopped completely. For years, I stood half-built and silent, scaffolding rusting, stone slowly darkening. The city argued about me. Some wanted to finish me. Some wanted to tear me down. Some said I was an embarrassment, a crazy, unfinished monument to a dead man's obsession. I was almost erased, but Gaudi had been too careful to disappear completely. Fragments survived. Broken pieces of plaster models, old photographs, a few scattered notes. A new generation of architects arrived. They treated those fragments like a crime scene. Every broken piece was scanned, measured, analyzed. They discovered that Gaudi had hidden a secret inside my geometry. Everything, every curve, every column, every surface, was based on mathematical forms found in nature. Hyperboloids, paraboloids, shapes that even today's computers struggle to calculate. Once they understood the geometry, they could rebuild his vision. And then technology accelerated everything. What took years by hand now took weeks. Precision cutting machines carved stone that no human hand could shape alone. I started growing again. On February 20th, 2026, 3 weeks ago, a crane lifted a 12-ton glass cross and placed it on my tallest tower. 172.5 meters, the tallest church in the world. Taller than any cathedral in history. And that height? Gaudi chose it deliberately. He made me slightly shorter than the hill of Montjuic behind me, 177 meters, because he believed no human creation should ever be taller than God's nature. Even my measurements are a philosophy. In June 2026, the Pope will come to consecrate my central tower, exactly 100 years after Gaudi's death, a century later, and his dream is finally standing. I have a confession. I'm still not finished. My main entrance, the glory facade, the one Gaudi considered the most important, is still being built. Some parts won't be completed until 2034, maybe later, and there is a problem nobody wants to solve. Gaudi planned a grand staircase leading to my entrance. But today, apartment buildings stand exactly where those stairs were supposed to be. Hundreds of families live there. Do you demolish their homes to complete a dead man's vision? Gaudi once said, "My client is not in a hurry." His client was God. Maybe that's why I'm still not finished. Maybe I was never supposed to be. I am the Sagrada Familia, and I am still being built.